All right, guys, so I am out here today with the FMS Beaver V2. This is the newer version that just got back in stock that has the Reflex built in. I've had it out a few times. I really like it. Today it's pretty windy, so I brought it out to see how it would do in the wind, and it's kind of overcast. Let's see. If you don't have a little anemometer, get one from Amazon. They're super cheap. Let's see. It's nice and steady at 5. I've shown about 9 earlier, gusts to 13. So really not too bad. But anyway, had the plane up a couple of times. I like it. The Reflex does okay. The auto level function works fine, like safe would. But I have noticed it feels a little looser than some of the AS3X E-Flight planes that I have. You know, the P-51, the RV7, the Timber. So I don't really know if I need to get the software for it, hook it up to the laptop, and just kind of see how it does and up the gains. But from the factory setup, plugging everything in as per the manual, you can see it kind of tucked back in there, that little orange thing. Everything works fine right out of the box. Put a little spare pilot figure from my other RV7 canopy. It flies great. Like I said, it's a little loose, more so than I would like, but it does really good. Other than that, I did the dubor 4.5 big wheels, which, you know, a lot of people do the 5s or the 5.5s, but with the 4.5s, the 5.5s are like 267 a wheel, the 5s are like 240 a wheel. So if you're going to do the 5s, you might as well do the 5.5s. But the 4.5s are, I think, like 160 a wheel. So you're talking 100 grams savings per wheel over the 5.5s, and like 80 grams a wheel over the 5s, which, you know, for me, why make it heavier than it needs to be? And a lot of the Beavers that you see, older photos from the 60s and 70s that flew off of land, their gear was actually, the wheels were fairly small. So I think the 4.5s look pretty scale. You can use the stock hardware. Just take the wheel collar that comes with the dubor that would go inside the hub, put it outside of the hub, in between the wheel and the jam nut, and it gives you like a perfect amount of space. You can see that little brass piece, that's the wheel collar. It just clears the foam right here. So I think it works fine. I like it a lot. It does really good off the grass, which is all I fly off of. So I got a CNHL 4006S 70C, which is about 700 grams. I have the AR 6610T. I think that's the 6610. Works okay. I have the little voltage jumper wire. The voltage calibration from the factory on the receiver is off. It reads like 3 volts low. So I just set my telemetry alarms on the radio for like 18.5 instead of 21, which is what I normally would for a 6S. Other than that, though, I'm pretty happy with it. The 700 gram battery is lighter than what a lot of people run, you know, running a 6,000 or a 7,000 that's in that 8 or 850 range. But with the wheels on there, the CG is about perfect with the 700 gram 4006S. There's a little bit of wiggle room, but, you know, honestly, not much as far as moving the battery forward or backward. So you really kind of want, if you're on the stock gear, I would try and get a battery right near 800 grams. The 4.5 dubros are about 150 grams heavier than the stock wheels. So I think if you were going to stay stock, I would go with like a 6000 6S, and you'd be dead perfect. I flew it with a 6000 6S, which is 808 grams with the dubros on, and to me it felt a little nose heavy, where it was kind of wanting to pitch forward a little. I was having to ride the elevator a little. Granted, I probably could have trimmed that out. I think the plane kind of flies heavy anyway. So, plus I have a bunch of these from my FPV stuff, so I figured, hey, why not? But anyway, I'm gonna take it up. I'll quit bullshitting and do a little control surface check. Currently I'm running 70% rates for low, 85 for medium, and 100 for high. The low rates are really mushy, even with like a 25-30% expo. It's really, you could get away, you could probably just run like 80 or 85 as your low and then 100 as your high, and run maybe 25-30% expo with 85% rates for the low, and then 100 and like 10 or 15 or even 0 expo for the high. It flies pretty heavy. You really don't need a lot of expo. On 70% rates, it's almost not enough, especially if it's windy. So I'll probably just take off in mid rates. Yeah, so motors are armed, lights are on. It looks fantastic. I did do my usual 2 coats of Varathane semi-gloss, which I think just give it a little extra shininess, a little extra pop. But you absolutely don't have to. The finish is great from the factory. The wing clips work okay. For the little struts, you definitely want the clip portion. Insert them from the bottom with the clip portion facing the back, where the straight edge is facing forward. Goes in a lot easier. The wing screws, be careful with the Allen wrench, because if you slip off the screw, you're gonna stab the top of the wing, which I've already done. So yeah, into the wind. All right. We are in AS3X only right now, mid rates, about, yeah, half throttle. It's just so big. It floats nice. When you put the flaps down, I mean, it will slow down a lot. Those lights just look gorgeous. Plenty of power if you want it to be. You can keep it in tight. I have my Vario set up, since our field is in controlled airspace. I have my Vario set up for an altitude warning at 150 feet. So if you hear that going off, that's what that is. Let's see. I'll try to bring it in for a slow pass, half flaps here. The wind is from the right. Supposedly, Weather Channel says 10 sustained, gust to 15. I think that's probably about accurate, so. All right, takeoff flaps. About half power. Get out of the flaps, we'll go around and we'll do another pass, full flaps. You can see it kind of wiggling around a little bit. It's not an unstable thing with the Reflex. It just doesn't feel as locked in, where you can just kind of point it with the AS3X and it just stays true. This seems like it just moves around a little. I mean, it is a big plane. I'm not used to it. Okay, here we go. Full flaps. About 20% throttle. Out of the flaps and up. That is full right aileron at 85% rates. So 100% rates, left aileron all the way. You can see it is not that snappy. I think if I tried to do, I'll try and do a low rate barrel roll here. I'll probably have to mix in some down elevator when I'm inverted so I don't fall out of the sky. Okay. Right. I mean, look at that. That is slow and easy. Let's do a downwind full speed pass. I do like about 50% throttle. This cruises just forever, but you can get on it and it will pick up the pace if you want it to. That is full speed and up. It has no problem pulling some G's if you really want to yank on the sticks. My elevator compensation for the flaps is 11 to 22. As you can see, still balloons a little bit at first, and then once it sets in, it noses down. So I've got a 2-second deployment. Probably what I need to do is maybe stretch that out to 3 and then back off of the elevator compensation from 22 down to maybe like 18 or something. On the 6000 it was about right. at first, and then it would get real nose heavy. I don't really use flaps much here because it is such a big open space. All right, full flaps. I'm gonna ride the up elevator here, drop the power, get the lights in view, slow it down as much as I can, just kind of idle power. Look at that baby float. Using a lot of rudder, getting in the power because I don't want to fall when I go with the wind.
High rate.
Little rudder slide action. See if we can knife edge it. I'm at 100% rates right now. Just kind of let it sink on its own. All right, let's see what we got here. Look at that. I think the wind was getting me there. I might even be able to do it in mid rates. Let's see if we can go into the wind and get it going here. Oh yeah, look at that. Stall it upside down, get the wings level, coming back. When you do round out the stall for a hammerhead like that, once it turns over, it falls pretty quick. You definitely want to be on that. It does feel good though, I gotta admit, it is a smooth flyer. It's one of my favorite planes. You know, I really want a Cub in my collection, but for me, I like the windows, the lights, you know, the Carbon Z Cub, as cool as it is, you know, no lights, no windows. I just had to go with the Beaver. I think ultimately I kind of like the Beaver better anyway, just in the full scale world. I want the floats, but they're on intergalactic back order, so I don't know when that's going to happen, but obviously with the lake here, I could definitely float fly. Let's do a full speed pass into the wind. And then yank it. I mean, it has no problem getting up to speed going into that wind. Try and touch it go. I don't know, I might be tempting fate a little bit with the wind here. But what the hell. Go half flaps. Probably don't need them. I will say on landing too, no reverse thrust from the factory. Oh, getting a little stall action here. It will roll out. It's a heavy plane, so once you touch down, you better have some room for it to on the ground. You know, if I touch down anywhere past midfield, even when I go zero throttle into the wind, it will roll out almost to the end of the field there. So that is something to keep in mind if you're trying to fly this on a short runway. You really want to come in, you know, I don't want to attempt a stall low to the ground, but if you come in too fast, it will roll out forever. See those lights? There we go, run the mains, come on baby. Yes, and up. Try a low rate knife edge. That is my low voltage timer. 2, one more knife edge going back and then we'll bring it in. Ooh, going downwind. All right. Oh, that's so crazy. All right. Trying a full flap approach here. End of the power. I don't want to stall it. Oh, a little bouncy. Out of the flaps. I think the wind I got too slow right there, and then my full flap deployment hit, and I started to do the nose down thing. Yeah, so, man, look at those lights though. Doesn't that just look amazing? Yeah, it's pretty. Okay, throttle cut is on. So with the wing clips, this is what I was talking about. You can see the clip portion is on the back. It's a symmetrical design, but for some reason they go a lot easier from the back side like that than they do if you were to flip it around. You can see I got a gouge from my Allen wrench slipping off and hitting. Other than that, if you push the wing screws down in before you start to tighten them, they do pretty good. You know, I don't know, overall I love the plane. It flew smooth. Let me know what you think. The lights, the windows, the dubors I think is a must-have. If it were me, the 4.5s are fine. If you got some real rough terrain, you know, you don't care about the weight, maybe go with the 5s or the 5.5s. But I like being able to use the stock hardware, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I can't wait to get the floats. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.